That massive downpour yesterday lifted the Guadalupe River more than 25 feet in less than an hour. At least 27 people are dead, 9 of them children, and officials warn that number may well go up. First responders, drones, and helicopters are working around the clock with a desperate search underway for at least 23 girls missing from a Christian camp on the shores of the Guadalupe River. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is live in Kerrville, Texas with the latest. Mike.
And John, this shelter where I'm standing in a park is now loaded with debris because all of this was underwater yesterday before the Guadalupe River receded back into its banks, or at least close to its banks. We've seen the helicopters patrolling the river. We now know from the city manager that they're putting boots on the ground, old school style. They've got people walking the length of the river looking for victims, hoping for survivors. They're aided by people with local knowledge of where debris gets hung up when the river floods. As you mentioned, the official number of deceased victims is now 27, and we anticipate that that will rise. The number of campers missing is 27, and that is that group of girls who had been attending the Camp Mystic all-girls Christian camp. They have lost contact with the outside world. We know that some deceased have been located. There really isn't much reason to be optimistic about those missing girls. However, Congressman Chip Roy tells me there have been miraculous stories of survival.
One of the little girls from our school, thankfully, praise the Lord, was found. She floated on a mattress for 3 hours yesterday morning, and we just got the text notice that she survived, and we've located her and that she's safe and sound. So we're hoping for stories like that, but obviously we're deeply concerned about the remaining little girls that we've not found.
Now, on Thursday, this area was bombarded with rain. On Friday, the Guadalupe River came up as much as 26 feet in 45 minutes. This area is prone to flooding. They had a very similar, very deadly flood 38 years ago. Still, Judge Rob Kelly, who's a chief elected official in Kerr County, called this the most dangerous river valley in the U.S., and still, there was no early warning. We did talk to an individual who said there was an early warning, but it came in just minutes before the river swelled at this dramatic level. Now, the known number of missing is standing at 27. What we're hearing from officials, there's a large unknown number because this is an area where people come in weekend, particularly on the holiday weekend. They camp down by the river, they stay at Airbnbs, and there really isn't a way to get a good idea of how many of those people are missing now. John?
Mike, how far above the river are you right now, would you estimate?
I'd say I'm about 15 feet above the river and about 15 feet below the highway, right in the middle. And all of this area was underwater. Some of the evidence you can tell by that is right next to the highway. There are fish that are in the lawn now.
Wow. It's my understanding that the camp sits kind of on a hill, which makes sense since the river is at the bottom of a valley. And the girls who were saved were up higher on, higher camping sites.
And there are a few camps where that happened, where the people got to the high ground. They ended up safe, but they were stranded because the roads in and out of these camps had been so badly damaged. So overnight, you had helicopters dropping them food and water. Hopefully by the time daylight came through, we don't have an update on it yet. With some of the roads destroyed, they could get 4x4s or some other vehicles in there and rescue some of those people. There have been some 800 rescues so far, and we hope that they're in those numbers.
Yeah, we hope for more. We saw, you said that, there were warnings, but they came out very, very late. What kind of warnings are those? Do you know? Are they sirens? Are they, emergency broadcasts? What are they?
What we just got from someone who was local and who was in the area, and he actually got out only because he'd had an argument with his son and went home. And he came back to find all of his things destroyed, so he was lucky. But he said the warnings that he got came over his cell phone.
Wow. Mike Tobin, let's hope for a little bit of good news out of that terrible situation. Thank you, Mike.